Well, good morning, everyone. Don Cramer with the Cramer Group at Urban Nest Realty. Cheers to you this Wednesday with a good cup of coffee. Got a little Nespresso. Had to go quick today. We've got the stats to go over our weekly recap. So, on behalf of my partner, Colleen Schaefer, who sends her best today, she is actually out and about with a client we just recently put into contract, getting some home inspections done. I was out early this morning wrapping up some repairs with a couple of listings. It's a busy time in real estate, and the stats show it. So Colleen sends her best. You'll be seeing her here very soon again. But today, Wednesday, as always, we want to bring you the news you can use, and those are the numbers, because that's the thing that people are most tuning into. Don, what's going on in the real estate market? What's going on with real estate? Well, here to tell you the numbers. So last week, we had 5,826 listings for sale, with 5,717. Throw the slide up here. 5,717 being traditional, 49 short sales, and 60 foreclosures. Now, we went into this week with not quite 300 homes less, but definitely 266 homes using that new math. So we have 5,560 listings available for sale, single-family homes, with 5,457 being traditional sales, 49 short sales, and 54 foreclosures. So week over week, our inventory dropped 4.6% in total listings, with 4.5 percentage drop in traditional sales. The foreclosures and short sale numbers reflect a normal market situation where, unfortunately, those do occur, but they're occurring in a less than 2% of the market. Now, under contracts, we saw a big growth spurt. So last week we had 3,521 homes under contract, with 3,336 being traditional sales. This week we go in with 3,880 properties under contract and 3,701 being traditional sales. So again, last week's number, 3,521, up 359 homes week over week. So in contingent and pending, basically the under contract numbers. So again, we are seeing a big jump in demand with houses going into market, and we are continuing to see our supply going down. So again, we're not adding as many homes to the market. Now, moving on to the next slide, kind of taking a look at the total week numbers, because we're also tracking those. This week, the last 7 days, week change, we had 670 new homes hit the market. And then you look down under contracts, both the show and no show, when you add those two up, that's 1,133 properties. So in a 7-day span, we put on 670 new listings. However, we put into escrow 1,133 homes. So that's a big jump in demand going in versus hitting the market. Now, a couple other stats we do always like to check. It's the back on market number, which was 183 properties. That kind of seems to be holding steady. Price decreases the last week did increase over the previous week. That previous week we had a bit of a lull. It might have been new listings hitting the market, but this week we had 569 homes with a price decrease. And then lastly, over the 7-day span, we had 517 sales. So again, big item is the under contract number. Again, healthy demand, really coupled by very low interest rates. Again, we've had the last couple of videos where we've talked about interest rates basically at 3 in most common situations, and then interest rates even poking into the high 2s for the 30-year fixed. And as people are going back to work, no longer being furloughed, they can start moving ahead if they were already had plans to buy. So that demand is still going. And then also too, we love to check out what's going on in the various price points and compare week over week, because we want to talk to you about what segments of the market are moving the most. So this week in the under $250,000 home segment, we had 596 homes for sale. Now that's down from 638 last week. Now, on counter to that, under contracts, we had 593 homes under contract under 250,000 versus the previous week's number of 550. So again, we had a drop in inventory. So a lot of those moved into contract. Now, in the $250,000 to $500,000 segment, that is our core market. This week we had 3,246 homes listed for sale versus last week's number of 3,434. So again, a pretty decent drop by not quite 200 homes in inventory for sale. Now, demand also popped up as well. Under contract this week in $250,000 to $500,000 price point homes, we have 2,672 homes under contract versus the previous week's number of 2,445. Moving up to the next level, to the $500,000 to $750,000 price point, we also had a drop there. So we went down this week to 836 listings for sale versus last week's number of 892. And demand also increased in that segment from 371 last week to 423 this week in under contract homes. Moving up to the mid-luxury segment, $750,000 to $1 million price point, we had 5 more homes up on the market this week, so we're at 330 listings versus 325 last week. However, demand also popped up there. We went to this week's number of 118 homes versus 109 last week. And then lastly, in the executive or the luxury segment, we have 513 listings versus last week's number of 510. However, demand is still increasing there with 87 homes under contract this week versus 76. So when we look at all the price points, when we look at the first 3 tiers, under 250, 250 to 5 to 750, we had a drop in inventory and we had an increase in under contracts. When we moved to the mid-luxury to luxury segments, we had a slight tick up in inventory. However, demand for homes going into contract increased over last week as well. So again, demand across all price spectrums now are picking up, and inventory levels are reducing on basically all properties under $750,000. Now, we're going to see what the next couple of weeks hold. The governor in the last few days ago had a press conference, was talking about the coronavirus cases increasing. Now they're kind of monitoring that in relation to hospitalizations. And if they can maintain the hospitalization numbers in check and, everyone's practicing, what they need to do with social distancing and preventative measures to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Also, they're implementing tracing as well. If we can mitigate those numbers, mitigate hospitalizations, that is going to be a positive effect on the sentiments of what's going on in the market and in Las Vegas with regards to continue to reopen. We're still into phase 2. There's been no formal announcement on phase 3. I think they're kind of the government and doctors are playing a wait and see mode, which is hey, let's be cautious because we've made some major jumps forward with regards to reopening. The virus cases are spiking, or not spiking, but they're increasing. Let's make sure that doesn't translate into hospitalizations. While at the same time, interest rates extremely low. people are starting to go back to work. We kind of want to do a little more discussion on the employment numbers in an upcoming episode. So we want to talk a little bit more about that in greater detail and some specifics. However, we with the interest rates and also too, while unemployment remained high, we still had quite a few people employed. We also had we have a lot of people with equity. So they're using this opportunity of the low interest rates to get into the place that they want to be in, and that's what's driving the demand. Now we are looking for inventory right now, so especially with school, we're in summer right now, and my heart out to all the graduates of 2020. You had probably one of the most unique graduations ever. It will definitely go down in history. However, the class of 2021 and beyond, they're going to be repositioning themselves for schooling. So we're going to have a lot of people looking and making changes over the next 30, 60, 90 days before the school season really kicks in to get into the place that they want to. Especially now, we may be, parents may be doing more work from home. So again, more dedicated office space. We're not sure what the school situation is going to look like in the fall. Is it going to be everyone back in class, or is it going to be maybe some kind of hybrid model where home teaching is still going to be in case? And so again, people are starting to ask us questions about needing those types of spaces. But what we wanted to do is we want to give you the week over week numbers. Again, inventory's dropping, demand's going up. There are still houses to be seen, but right now across most price segments, then that's basically anything under $750. Something hits the market and you have interest in going to look at it, now's the time, especially with the interest rates going on. Now, that's this week's Las Vegas housing market numbers. If you have any questions or comments, we would love to hear those. Also, do us a favor, give us a shout out if you're tuning in. We thank you very much. If you got your favorite breakfast beverage and just want to take a selfie and throw that up there, we'd love for you to do that as well. So on behalf of Colleen Schaefer, I'm Don Cramer. We make up the Cramer Group at Urban Nest Realty. We're more now than ever, your real estate experience matters. And also, as we love to say, dream big, sell smart, and buy right. And that's what we're here for you. Till next time, we wish you a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.